Christmas music. Personally, I'm not really a fan. I think my dislike of Christmas music is a combination of how overplayed a lot of those songs are, and also the whole holly jolly vibe of it all. Every time I hear a Christmas song, it feels like I'm being told to smile for a photo for 3 minutes straight. I also disagree with the overarching philosophy behind Christmas music that the winter is a fun time of year, because I don't like scraping ice off my car's windshield, or driving in the snow, or being outside in the cold in general. Anyways, for this holiday season, I decided to do a deep dive into the world of Christmas music and put together a list of 5 unique Christmas albums for those of you who are like me and want to break from the traditional stuff. So, without further ado, let's begin. Doom Xmas is a mixtape created by producer Cook and Soul, where he puts the vocals from various MF Doom songs over these boom bap beats that sample Christmas songs. The sample flips are really clever, and at times they're even kind of mind-blowing. There's a lot of amazing beats on this tape, but my favorite one, I think, is the one that samples Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney, because it's a song that I kind of hate, but the way he flips that sample transforms it into something a lot more psychedelic and sinister, and completely changes the mood of the song. The best part about this mixtape is that it's not the only one that he's made. There's also a Wu-Tang one and a Biggie Smalls one. The Doom one is my favorite of the trilogy, but they're all great, and if you're a fan of hip-hop, it's worth checking all of these out, especially since they're all only 20 minutes long. There was a brief moment in time where Vaporwave was this new, exciting, entirely unique genre that felt like it existed within a universe of its own, but that moment came and went, and over time the internet moved on from Vaporwave, and the genre eventually became a flanderized parody of itself. And in that time, Vaporwave branched out into a few notable subgenres, one of which being Slushwave, which is basically an entire genre that sounds like the end of Lisa Frank by Macintosh Plus. This album, released in 2021, is a Christmas-themed Slushwave album. It's only 4 tracks and a little under 30 minutes long, which is honestly perfect for an album like this. Slushwave is repetitive by design, so the album's brevity ends up being its biggest strength, since it allows you to become immersed in its woozy atmosphere without ever feeling like it's overstaying its welcome. Daniel Johnston is one of my favorite songwriters. He's best known for his album Hi, How Are You?, but his entire catalog is full of incredibly well-written music. A lot of his songs are about loneliness and unrequited love, and this album is no different in that regard. This album addresses the holiday season from a brutally honest perspective. On the surface, apart from one song that directly mentions Christmas, the only thing that really makes this a Christmas album is the title, but the title is intentional, and the album is very much about Christmas. Christianity plays an important role in the album, with a handful of songs mentioning Dan's relationship with God and the devil. As an example, after the spoken word intro, where he wishes the listener a Merry Christmas, the album begins with a hymn Where the Soul Never Dies, which is a song about the soul remaining alive when you go to heaven. Then that song is followed by Held the Hand, which is about him feeling soulless and empty after appearing on MTV. The point this album is making is that even during Christmas, you don't get a break from your fears and your insecurities, and it's this vulnerability that makes it one of my favorite Christmas albums, because it's honest, and it doesn't pretend to be anything it's not. James Ferraro is one of Vaporwave's most influential pioneers. His 2010 album Farside Virtual depicts a dystopian digital world that acts as a critique of consumerism, so it makes sense that he would eventually make a Christmas album. This one has an interesting atmosphere to it. The stiffness and the artificiality of the MIDI instruments make it sound kind of uncanny and detached from reality, but at the same time, the brightness of the trumpets and choirs make it sound larger than life. I think that's what makes this album so fascinating to me. It uses Christmas-like sounds, and the compositions sound Christmas-like, but it's completely detached from the Christmas zeitgeist, which makes it sound surreal and otherworldly. Ryuichi Sakamoto is one of my favorite musicians ever. If you don't know who he was a massively influential composer and producer in the 80s. His band Yellow Magic Orchestra pioneered several kinds of electronic music and heavily contributed to developing EDM into what it is today. His solo album Thousand Knives from 1978 is also one of the best albums ever made in the history of music ever. Anyways, the movie Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence is Sakamoto's debut as both an actor and a film composer. And like all of Sakamoto's work, this soundtrack is phenomenal. The movie's opening theme, which gets reprised a couple times throughout the soundtrack, has one of the most memorable melodies he's ever written. It's a beautiful song. But the whole soundtrack is full of great music, and it's made even better by the sound design. The synths and electronic bells give these songs a cold and desolate feeling, which makes sense considering it's a World War II film that takes place during the winter. While most Christmas music captures either the feeling of being in the safety and warmth of the indoors during the Christmas time, or the novelty of Christmas as an aesthetic, this soundtrack reminds you of how unforgiving the winter can be. I'm gonna be honest, this list was kinda hard to put together, and it took me a lot of time to make. A lot of the non-traditional Christmas music out there is just parody music, but I wanted to dig deeper and find albums that I genuinely enjoyed and that I felt deserved more recognition. These 5 albums were the ones I resonated with the most because they took on the challenge of recontextualizing Christmas music while still capturing the unique essence of the winter season. If any of these albums stood out to you and you haven't listened to them yet, give them a listen and let me know what you think, and let me know what your favorite Christmas album is. That's it for the video. Happy holidays, and I'll see you next time.